Alright, so messing around with some configurations. These are just some temp speakers, whatever. But really looks like not gonna have that many options. So it looks like it's gonna be, at least for the mids and highs, it's gonna be two 6.5s like that, and then the super tweet. But as you can see, it's it's over the line. This line is where the dash comes in, so I can't go over that. So obviously this would be more like that. What I'm gonna have to do is actually oh, nice. That's why you use temp speakers that you don't care about. I'm gonna have to cut out some more of this, and then what I'm gonna do is get a piece of wood and make a cross brace going across, where I can, maybe even one vertically also, where I can then help with the supports for the initial fiberglassing, and then I can just get rid of that later once it's all fiberglassed. But yeah, I'll probably end up cutting this part out down here to give me a little more room, and then up here cutting that. For the 8, for the mid bass, not a lot of options. And the thing that's really kind of getting me, I don't know if it's even going to show up. You can kind of see it, but I kind of penciled in where the felt would go, or for the initial shape of it. But I'm not really digging that, because then it's almost going straight down. It's almost vertical at that point. But I need access to this hole. So there's really only two things I can think of. Is what I'd rather do is kind of where it comes up here, follow the natural bevel like that, and then just follow this. And then I have two options. At here I can either come down like that and go around it and then go back up to keep that hole, but I'm still going to then have it almost vertical to there. Or what I can do is, and this is what I'm probably planning on doing, I don't know how weird it's going to end up looking, but it's just follow this line, and then in the fiberglass, when it's done, basically drill a hole through where I'll be able to put the screw in. I just don't know how weird that's going to look with a hole in the fiberglass, but it would look much better following basically just that whole line, and and then just kind of go off there, and all this will be covered also. So down here it'll obviously be vertical, but I don't care so much because you're obviously not going to see that. But up here I'd much rather go at more of a slant and follow the natural contour of the shape. The other thing I guess I could do is come up here and actually go along the line and then cover that hole, and then basically go in and then put a flat piece going here. But that would then kind of almost make this a little tray instead of like a real handle. So I don't think I'm going to do that. I think that would be a last resort. I think I'm going to at least initially try and see how this looks, and just live with having to drill a hole to have access to that. So yeah, so I'm going to make up some templates, and then I'll start cutting these areas out. I already measured on how high everything can go, and the nice thing is the older speakers that I used had plenty of room already left over, and that was with a pod. So I know I'm gonna have plenty of room for all this. It'll be interesting to see the difference between how things sound when they were in an enclosed pod to where now they're gonna be like a normal factory speaker where it's kind of using the door as the enclosure. I think it's not going to be as quiet on the outside when I'm full tilt, but I think I'll actually end up getting quite a bit more mid bass. These speakers are actually almost perfect for for this type of enclosure because they have such a high QTS, so they're really good free air. So hopefully should get a good amount of mid base. So till then. All right, so one more quick thing. So up here, since I ended up taking out the old tweeter pods, you can see that there were 3 holes created where I mounted them. So I'm going to be taking off the factory vinyl so I can fill that and do all that. I've been thinking, I don't know if I'm actually even going to re-vinyl it. I might, all depends. One thing I was thinking of doing is, and I think I've seen this somewhere actually, in this spot right here, is actually cutting that out and making a glass or whatever, and then putting like some lights behind it, maybe even smoky glass, and put the lights on either side, so it's not like in your face, but it's got like a glow to it, and hook that up to the door open or interior lights. But yeah, so I'm about to take all this off, and so I can fill that.